Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So then let's move forward to talk about Monster Hunter. And Daniel, I'm really curious to hear your experience on this because I saw you wrote a piece for IGN talking about why it's okay. I think the angle was why it's okay you're starting now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The piece is called Why It's Okay If You've Never Played Monster Hunter before. Because I've never played Monster Hunter before. And it's really easy because in the UK we get offered a lot of the same opportunities you get. And I'm like one person, so I turn down a lot of stuff, especially when we have someone on the staff who knows Monster Hunter really well. And you write a better preview for the people who really like Monster Hunter. And it was really easy for me to say no to this opportunity. But I thought, hey, I really like monsters. I really like monster design. I really like horror movies. This seems like a game that I really get into.
Yeah, my ears are very perked up to all this because I'm in the same exact position.
So I was like,
I'm a first time serious player.
Okay, good.
Oh, cool.
I just tried it on Wii back in the days and I couldn't get into it.
Okay, good. So I went, hey, let's go along. I played it about 10 hours before. I interviewed the longtime series producer Tsujimoto.
Yes.
And the current creative director. And it's not the most kind of insightful piece in terms of if you've played Monster Hunter for a long time, but it's just like, this is what it's like to get into this game.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for Monster Hunter sometimes because I think Tri was the one that everyone thought it was going to reach the Western audience. And I think it's always, every time a Monster Hunter game comes out, it's kind of forced into this narrative where it's like, it's huge cult success in Japan. But even prefacing its release like that dooms it to being a cult.
Yeah.
I just think it turns people off. That's a weird thing to say before a game comes out.
No, and I feel like we do fall into that trap of, is this going to be the one? We did it with Freedom Unite, we did it with Tri, we did it again with 3 Ultimate, and we're to some degree, the question is still hanging in the air with 4 Ultimate. Is this the one that finally hits with this audience? Because what has made it such a difficult game for new players is that it takes a village to really raise a good hunter in Monster Hunter. Like, you need other people to kind of shepherd you through some of that game's weird choices when it's starting out.
Yeah.
But the thrill of like downing that monster is so good.
And that's the biggest thing I wrote about is a game that wants you to learn a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not called Monster Killer. It's called Monster Hunter. There's a lot of things you have to pick up, and if you're on your own, it's quite confusing. There's like the menus are quite dense. Tutorial system's not very good. There's lots of stuff that is just put in your.
You had to see like years ago.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm cooking a steak through a mini game.
Ooh, there's steak cooking in there.
I've got wet
Jose
stone.
loves getting steaks from people.
Yeah, when you get it right, you hear a voice that's like, tasty.
Oh, so that's like your steak dinner bets. That's awesome.
Oh.
When you get it right, you get a steak.
I guess.
But yeah, that was what turned me off with the Wii version. Like, you know, we often complain about games that hold your hands too much. Like, Twilight Princess is like the farm scenes just kind of get old after a while, right? Even though like learning how to flip the goat or whatever that thing was super important to the ending of the game, it felt needless.
Spoilers.
And I already know how to climb a fence or cut a sign or pick a rupee and all that stuff. And so then you play Monster Hunter and you're like, all right, go ahead, right?
Yeah.
Like that's your tutorial. And like when you actually read all the things, it's just so overwhelming.
See, but I appreciate that, and you and I have had these conversations a little bit too about, and not to go too far off topic with this, but about like in Destiny, where there's a lack of telling you the amount of progress that's been made on a bridge or something in a raid. Like they intentionally hold back details because they want you to kind of rely on teamwork. I think it's intentional.
Really?
I absolutely think it's intentional. No, because you rely on that teamwork and that feeling of the satisfaction that comes with execution. I feel like there is an incredibly satisfying feeling, going back to Monster Hunter, when you with a team know when you should be attacking, when you shouldn't be attacking. Like, the monster has obvious tells. What kind of, like, have you been departing on this a little? Like, I got your Street Pass card, so you're playing this game.
Yeah.
What's this been like? Like, who have you killed?
I'm waiting for there to be a big online community.
Okay.
So I can play with, because I think that's part of their core mantra.
It is.
So when I spoke to the creative team, you've got to realize, if a game is insanely popular in the East, it's got huge fan bases. You want to build a game to cater for those players who are really familiar with your mechanics, your systems, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then how do you make that game also appeal to a wider audience?
Yep.
And I asked them this question. It's like, how do you keep the people who know everything about your game, that have put in hundreds and hundreds of hours, how do you challenge them, but also make it friendly for you and me?
Yeah.
It's really tricky. And they said they don't factor that in. They just want to make a good action game because they think people can get into a good action game, whether they're acquainted with the systems or not. And the other one is online play. They want their kind of seasoned, battle-hardened hunters to raise the next generation, just like hunting is done in caveman times.
Yeah,
I will teach you my hunting skills.
Yeah,
I know the best way to
How do you teach me though? How will I learn? Can you talk to me? Can you give me instructions? Or
when there's the challenge, it becomes you're either typing messages through chat, which if you've used a 3DS for Animal Crossing, you know that's not the smoothest way to do anything.
It's not good in battle. It's more in between. Yeah.
No, it isn't easy for sure.
So it is literally like cavemen times.
Yeah, but it's like you're hunting a lion. You start texting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but you also have this is true. But you also have if there's one thing I've noticed about the Monster Hunter community though is if you do find a group of experienced hunters, they are very willing to help you shepherd you through all of it.
Holding us back. I think they realize that it's part of it and they want to keep their community as well.
Absolutely. Like to them growing that community matters a lot. Like I've played with folks who have put crazy amounts of hours into 3 Ultimate and they're always like, hey, come join us. Hey, come join us. No, we'll show you this part. We'll get you through. Like, because there are some bosses when you get to them, the game's way of communicating it's time to upgrade your equipment is when you run up to a boss, like you do every time, you swing your weapon and it ricochets off. You just see an animation of like that arm coming down. Bing! It comes right back. And you're like,
run.
Oh, crap. This is a problem right now. And that's something that, then okay, it's time to upgrade equipment. It's time to hunt other monsters, get the carves that you get from that, build better swords, build better armor, resistances, like find your RPG resistances for fire, for ice, for thunder, for whatever. But everyone who I've ever teamed up with to play this game, I've so far been able to successfully get on board. So if you guys have some time, and I'd love if you all did.
I'm going to play it. I ordered the Monster Hunter 3DS, so I'm all in.
And should we say that it's online now on the 3DS version?
It is.
Which it wasn't with the previous one?
So with the previous one, the Wii U version was online. This is going to be a fun story. If you wanted to get the portable version online, you had to use a
unscrew
utility.
The back.
No, you had to use a utility on your Wii U that would basically talk to your 3DS and give you an online access to it.
Oh, so you can
it was the weird.
Why?
Yeah, so if you didn't buy 3 Ultimate,
just why?
Yeah. If you didn't buy 3 Ultimate, this was your pipeline to the rest of the world.
Why is nothing ever? Life is so difficult that why can't things like this just work?
Yeah. Well,
like my commuter card stopped working this morning, and I had to go to the wrong train station, and then they were like, call somebody, and then they were like, your bank account, your thing expires in a month, so you have to switch your card. Yeah. Why can't I just play? Why don't video games just work? Life is so difficult. Forget it. I'm just not. I could forget it.
We've lost Brian. No, but I will say,
San Francisco is stressful.
It really is.
Oh, it is.
It really is. And you get home and you want to play a video game, and you can't without giving it a drop of your blood.
When we don't have that peripheral.
Damn it. No. Yeah. Oh man, that's the opposite of the.
Yeah, but you get faceplates, so I'll trade you.
Yeah, you with your fancy faceplates.
That's it.
Hey, by the way, Nintendo Europe tweeted out this like exciting tweet saying like, "Woo! Look at the beautiful colored buttons. Only a couple of days left." I mean, you bastards! They're like rubbing it in.
That's it's really interesting to watch the joy and optimism in their tweets versus the responses they're getting in their tweets. Like somebody the other day was just like, "You can use your Shulk amiibo," and everyone was like, "I can't buy that anywhere. Why don't you sell it in more places?"
It truly is the promised land.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly. Oh yeah, that's right. You guys. Well, let's take a quick break. Actually, wait. I'll let you finish.
No, but the 3DS commercials. Yeah. None of that I have seen mention the special edition Majora's Mask 3DS. I haven't seen
on television.
Yeah, on TV
in the U.S.
The commercials in the U.S. It's like it doesn't exist because so that would be adding insult to injury. Is like get the latest Majora's 3DS. You can't. I haven't seen it in the wild anywhere.
So it doesn't have the game on it
for pre-order.
No, you guys get it with the game on it. So actually,
awkward.
You guys get the faceplates. You get the fancy pants system with the game installed.
I got SNES a year later. So
and how much is one? What do you pay for one though? Like remember, it always comes with that price tag, the UK price tag.
Because Nintendo doesn't set prices in the UK.
Yeah. So let's hold that thought. Actually, I want to dive deeper into that discussion, but we're going to take a quick break first. When we come back, let's talk about Nintendo's presence in the UK and what that means.